Yes. 1 year. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. It's a good explanation. But here I want to explain another thing. Here, the larger or bigger, the larger this number, as one of your friends explains correctly, the older the conference. The older the conference, and the more credible, the more credible the conference is in comparison with other conferences. So, for example, here in this title, it said the 14th National Conference on Electrical, Computer, and Mechanical Engineering. So, for example, in comparison with other conferences, maybe it is older and also more credible. So, when you want to choose uh, your conference title, don't forget that these numbers are so important. The higher this number, the older and the more credible of conference. For example, this is the 8th International Conference on Web Research. So, in comparison with the, for example, first International Conference on the similar subject, so this is my choice to choose this title because this is more credible. This is the older in comparison with that conference title. So don't forget that two items are so important. First of all, the difference between national and international when you want to choose your proper uh, topic for your conference, and the second one is the
Actually,
number
I
of the
have a question,
conference.
but it's not
So
related to
the
this
larger this number, the older the
lecture that
conference, and
I
the more
asked.
credible the conference will
Thank you, Dr.
be.
Anas. I'm sorry for this
Okay, any
interruption.
question?
Actually, I have a curiosity about the nature of the examination. So for so far, what we study is actually practical, not theoretical. So could you just give me a hint about the nature of
Okay,
the
no problem.
examination? Yes.
Examination of what? For this course? This isn't simple, because I want to know that you understand this subject or not.
Just a
As a
curiosity, actually,
lecturer,
because
it
what
is so
what we
important
all
for me that
thank you.
students attend
It's
this class and that understand the subjects and don't worry about the exam. Okay, this is my routine. Yeah, this is my routine of teaching. This is I know that. I know. But this is the routine of my teaching. But especially for this course, the grade is so low in comparison with my other courses. But this course is experimental, and I know that your uh, opinions about that, but
Thank you so
don't
much, Dr.
worry about that. These are some tools to evaluate students with each other, okay? But in the final results, I will help
That's okay.
every student, and don't worry
Thank
about
you.
that.
Thank you,
The
Dr.
goal
Anas.
of this course, the goal of this course is to enjoy this course, okay? And to know about something maybe that will be helpful for you in the future. Okay, thank you, dear. Okay, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. So if I want to explain in فارسی دو نکته هستش که باید دقت بکنید. یکی درباره بحث ملی بودن و بین المللی بودن کنفرانس هستش و مورد بعدی اعدادیه که تاریخچه اون کنفرانس رو به شما نشون میده. هرچی این عدد بزرگتر باشه قدمت اون کنفرانس بیشتره و قطعا اعتبارش هم بیشتر خواهد بود. برای همین این دو نکته خیلی مهمه توی انتخاب کنفرانس، که قدمتش بالاتر باشه که اعتبارش بیشتر باشه و اینکه خب بحث بین المللی و ملی بودنش هم میتونه حائز اهمیت باشه. فقط دقت بکنید که حتما انتخاب باید طبق نظر استاد راهنما باشه. So here again I will give some information that don't forget that choosing conference titles must be according to the supervisor's opinion. Here this is an important. Okay, let me delete these fonts here. Again, let me go to the bottom of the page. Let me go to other page. Here you can see the conference status is finished. So you can't submit your paper to this conference. So don't forget that conference status is so important. It should be accepting full text. And this date is so important. Okay, so let me go to this page. For example, suppose that let me click on here. For example, you as a computer engineering, maybe you want to choose this title, the fourth international conference on modern research in electrical, computer, mechanical and mechatronics engineering in Iran and Islamic world. So let me see some related fields: electrical and electronics, computer science and mechanical. So this is good for me. Here it is an international conference. This is a good option for me. This is the date of the conference in the next year in solar calendar. And the venue and the location of the conference is city of Tehran. And here you can see the status of conference is accepting full text. So you can submit your research in this conference. But the paper and article research reception is this date. So this is the deadline for you to submit your conference papers. Okay, so for example, I want to choose this conference, so I click on this link. Let me back to the Farsi version. Okay, here you can see the website of this conference. website پایگاه رسمی conference. But if you have any question about this conference, you can send an email, and also you can take a phone call and make a phone call. For example, suppose that let me click on this link and go to the websites of this conference. And here this is the poster of this conference. Here are some information about the website, about the email, about the mobile phone number, and this is the date of attending 31 خرداد ماه 1401 in solar calendar or Persian calendar. Okay, let me back to this page. Okay, this is the website of this conference. Here there are, let me look for something in the page. Okay, here there are some informations about the portal that you can submit your paper, to register and to submit your paper. This is tells you about the format of writing. This is the format that you should write your, for example, conference papers. And these are some information about the costs about the conference that you want to hold. And these are some the subjects of conference. So here there are some useful links that you can easily go to these links and further your researches. Okay, so usually each conference has the unique websites, and there are some useful informations that are here in Farsi, but also you can translate it to English version. Okay, any question? Thank you. Okay, so here I think I told you the required information here. Let me back to the first page or click this icon. Okay, so one of the best way to find your conferences related to your fields of study is to click on this همایش‌های مهندسی computer, and there are some other ways to find and search in databases in conferences that are held in Iran. Here again, conferences for engineering science, conferences in, for example, agriculture science, and you can see that they are sorted by the year. Here there are some years, and also you can find some titles in the previous years. And for other branch of science, let me go to the bottom of the page. Again, here are the calendar of conferences in Iran in different years. This is the historical list of conferences. Here they sorted the result by the months of the year. For example, here مهر 1400, آبان، آذر، دی، بهمن، اسفند. These are the names of Persian months of the year. And again, let me go. Here you can see, for example, a list of upcoming conferences, کنفرانس‌های آینده, or upcoming conferences that are receive papers, and some done conferences that are held before. You can see and sort result by these phrases. Okay, if any question about this website, please tell me. Here we have a blue box here, so you can search for it. For example, suppose that let me search for mechanic, and I wanna search for conferences that include this phrase in Farsi, and let me click on this button, and here it will be included some conferences that related to these keywords. Yes, dear Qasim, symposia.ir. This is a good website for informing about national and international conferences in Iran. Okay, so if you don't have any question, let me stop sharing. Okay, here. So let me go other page. Okay, there are some other important notes you should deal with this important notes. Important note number 2, before submitting an article to the conference, be sure to consult with your supervisor and the faculty about the validity of the conference. Don't forget that. This is so important because maybe an international journal is valid, but for university, maybe it is invalid. So you should ask about the validity. For example, you are a computer science student, but maybe you submit your uh, paper to an electrical engineering conference. For some universities and some faculties, maybe there are some differences about the validity. So don't forget that. Maybe the conference is valid, but you should ask about the validity of the conference because this is important for you that the score of this article will be awarded to your dissertation or not. You know that in some faculties, when you defense about your thesis, uh, you can't obtain the full number. Maybe, for example, suppose that the complete and full number is 20. But for example, if you excellently defend your thesis, maybe they give you 18, and this is the full number for defending. But if you submit and, for example, if your papers are accepted, then they will give you the scores, and they will be added. For example, I don't know the detailed grade for each department, but for some papers, these scores will be added to your original score. For example, in our mechatronic engineering, master students uh, will give will be obtained the maximum number of 18 when they defend their thesis. But if they want to obtain a full number, they should be submit, and and their paper should be accepted uh, for for some valid journals. Then the grades will be added to the grade of the defense. So this is another important hit that you should pay attention for it. The score of that article is so important. It is because I will tell you about the validity. This validity is so important. Depend on uh, your papers are accepted and published in journal papers or conference papers. The grades are different for each of them. Okay, so this is the important note number 2. Always consult with your supervisor and ask for the validity of conference, because the score of this article will be important when it will be added to the original score of your thesis score. Okay, any question? Okay, thank you. پس اگه من بخوام به فارسی توضیح بدم، قبل از ارسال مقاله حتما از استاد راهنما و دانشکده در مورد اعتبار کنفرانس بپرسید و اینکه آیا نمره این مقاله به پایان نامه تعلق میگیرد یا نه مشورت بکنید. Okay. So in this session and for the last important note, I want to talk about the cost of attending the conference. This is another important issue for each student. Here I wrote that it is so important for a researcher to discuss the cost of attending to the conference. Here this is so important for you. Maybe, for example, suppose that you wanna attend a conference that will be held in Isfahan. This is one of the city of Iran. And okay, so there are some costs when you want to attend to the conference. For example, maybe you should be aware of the cost of tickets. And for example, if you want to buy a round trip ticket, and this is so important. For example, maybe you prefer to travel by airplane, maybe you prefer to travel by train or by car, I don't know. It depends on the vehicle, but it is the different cost for you. For example, the cost of accommodation. Okay, for example, if you want to travel to Isfahan for 2 or 3 days, so you should stay and you should find maybe a proper hotel for yourself in that city. So the cost of accommodation is another important hint, and where to stay is another question. Another costs are the cost of food, the cost of, okay, sorry, maybe I use my Epic pen here. The cost of food and other things that you need when you travel to the new country and new cities. So these are some important about to consider these costs for you, especially when you want to attend an international conferences, especially in other countries and other cities. Here another hint, be sure to inquire about how much cost the university will cover. You know that this is a general question, and maybe some universities and maybe some departments will pay, maybe they will pay part of the cost or the full cost of attending the conference. So these are some questions that you should be aware of, that are possible for your university and your department, that will cover some cost or part of the cost or full cost when you want to attend the conference. Not different. For example, conferences that are held in Iran, conferences that are held in other countries, or especially maybe your country in Iraq, in different cities of your country, you should ask about that. Maybe it will be covered by your country. Okay, this is another important note that you should be aware of that. Any question? Do you understand my explanations? Thank you. So, if I wanna tell you in Farsi, بحث هزینه شرکت در کنفرانس، هزینه مرتبط با اقامت و محل اقامت برای محقق بسیار مهم است. حتما در این مورد که دانشگاه تا چه میزان از این هزینه ها را تقبل می کند سوال بپرسید. Okay. If any question, please ask me about the subjects of this session. I think that's enough for this session, and I can continue this lecture in the next week if you agree on that. Thank you, dear Qassem. Thank you, dear Saleh. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We have 22 attendees here, and I really appreciate you to attend to this course, and I hope you enjoyed this course today. خیلی ممنونم. مرسی. ممنون از همگی. Thank you. ممنونم. همتون رو به خدای بزرگ میسپارم. I hope to see you next week, inshallah. Thank you. Again, if you have any question about the subjects of these sessions, about the exercises, and any inquiries, please send me messages in WhatsApp and I will answer you. Thank you so much and goodbye. Thank you, dear Qassem, and thank you everybody. خدا نگهدار. خدا حافظ.